Hi, and welcome to Perspectives 2016. My name is Susie Turner. I'm a Vice President here at the RAND Group. And today we've been talking about technology and what that looks like for the future, whether that's the cloud, Azure, all different types of opportunities that you have for on-site, off-site infrastructure. So all of that actually goes right along within the application of what that technology can do for you as an end user. What are those efficiencies that you can gain from an application point of view? So really, if you look at the mission statement of the RAND Group, it really is helping people use technology for business success. And it really is as simple as that. There is no application where all the feature functions are going to work for a business. So it is really the business and RAND Group's opportunity to look at the applications, see what will work within the environment, see where we can gain some efficiencies. And so today it really is going to be talking about increased efficiencies using the application that you may already have today, or if you're considering upgrading to the newer version. So what I'm going to do today is show you, again, building efficiencies, and through those efficiencies I am going to show you a time and expense application that we've built to just kind of build upon those tools that maybe it's not sitting in GP but can be integrated seamlessly with GP to give you the efficiencies you're looking for. And then I'm going to round it up with upcoming events, and we can answer any questions you may have. So the first thing we're going to talk about, again, is building efficiencies. There are a lot of efficiency opportunities within an application, but not all of those may fit you and your company. So we're going to go through a few of those. I'm going to talk about them right here, but we'll also do a demo, and you'll actually see the newer version of GP and talk about what that application can do for you. So the first thing is navigation. We have the ability to customize the navigation panes, action panes, giving the end user control of their home page, of what they see, when they see it, and how they see it. And what makes that important is that actually can reduce clicks. So if you think about it, may take you 5-6 clicks to get somewhere versus 1 click, and I have to do that 30 to 50 times a day. That can be a lot. So really looking at making your application work for you is really what we're looking at through the navigation. SmartList is probably one of those tools that is underutilized within the GP world. It is a very powerful data mining application built within GP. And within SmartList, you can create QuickLinks, you can add reminders, you can actually record limits to and increase those limits to your SmartList. And again, add SmartList to your navigation pane. So using SmartList efficiently for your company and adding to it and building upon the other efficiencies within the application. We have talked a lot about reducing cost and what that means for a company and how do we do that. And procurement obviously is one of those areas that is a very high visibility if you're going to reduce cost. We're going to talk about requisitioning and workflow and the all-in-one document that's now available within procurement, because this is one area where a lot of our clients now are seeing some really key efficiencies within their company that just is not efficient, but it's also reducing cost because of the workflow and the requisitioning modules. There's also an Excel copy and paste function that we're going to talk about. So this is extremely exciting for those in accounting who have to enter in maybe manually 150, 200 line general journal. Now, if it's in Excel, which most of our clients would have the data already in Excel in some way, shape, or form, they can copy it from Excel and paste it into GP without doing any kind of integration. Again, another feature rich that is used right out of the box, just a little bit of training and you're there. Excel dashboards and reports are now standard in GP 2015, which is a huge advantage for those who want a dashboard but don't want to spend all that time to try to build them in Excel. This gives you the features and the functions of building it, and actually taking some custom reports that come with GP and building upon them. Document attaching now has actually improved within GP, and we'll talk a little bit about that also. So right now I'm going to walk through and do a demo for you of the application. What I'll be demoing today is utilizing Dynamics GP 2015, and I'm going to be showing you some of our efficiency features that you may not be aware in this version. So for example, this is our homepage. Our homepage is that location where all users can efficiently configure to what they do for a living without having to navigate through modules to make it more efficient to work throughout the day. So for example, if you look at my homepage, I have QuickLinks, which is just a click away from any screen report that I'm using on a daily basis. I also have my business analyzer, which is at a glance allows me to see a graphical representation of data that I've preset. I've also set up my reports. Again, this is a place where I can look at all of my reports that I run on a consistent basis without having to click through modules to locate. I've also got under time management my time entry that is actually integrated with project accounting. I also have my procurement set up here so I can enter a requisition, view all my requisitions, what am I ready to purchase, what has been rejected. So I then again have the full feature functionality of looking at my requisitions within my homepage without having to go anywhere else. So I'm going to quickly show you on the customization of this page, what does that allow me to do? So it allows me to add and remove quick links as needed. For example, I may not want it today, but maybe tomorrow I want to bring back my quick links. I can add and remove any of the features that you'll see here. I can change the way the column is laid out and actually even how they're stacked to again give me control of how I'm going to do my job on a daily basis. I can come here to the menu bar on to the left. Again, I can right mouse click, let's say for the report shortcuts. I can go add a window, I can add a SmartList, a macro, add a web page. Again, full feature functionality to give the users the ability to change their navigation pane. And I can even change my navigation pane options below of what I want to see. I don't necessarily use HR and payroll. I'm going to remove that, and I'm going to remove manufacturing because that's not something I do for a living. So I'm going to hit OK. And when I reopen my screen, you'll notice that it's now disappeared. So it gives me the ability to make a more concise view of my application. So what I'm going to do quickly, again, we're going to talk quickly about SmartList because I do think it is that vehicle that a lot of our clients have not used as efficiently maybe as they would like or should. It is probably one of those things that we'll talk to our clients and they'll say, you know, I just need some more training in SmartList. We have a ton of SmartLists created. We don't really know who created them 5 years ago, but we'd like to be able to really make some more enhancements with what we've already got, or I want to start fresh. So that is something that a lot of our clients are getting retrained on a SmartList because it's a great data mining tool that again is not used as much as you would think. But you'll see that native GP comes with quite a few SmartList. If you look at the SmartList itself, for example, on the fixed assets, it will give you just a general information on the fixed assets. I can filter on any of and sort on any of the fields that are available. I can add columns, remove columns, again, make it mine. I can then export it to Excel because again, SmartList is a data mining tool. So getting it into Excel may be very important for you, or all I need to do is see a SmartList. So when you're looking at SmartList, I can actually add SmartList to my QuickLinks that we were showing a few minutes ago. There's a lot of tools within SmartList that I think a lot of our clients are not using. Again, an end user can be trained to create their own, modify what already exists, and really be more in control of what they're going to see and need out of SmartList. And again, I would like to say that it is one of those tools that I think is used at a smaller scale than maybe I think a lot of clients would like. And with a little bit of training, I think that goes a long way in making you more efficient with the data mining that a lot of our clients are needing to do. And again, once you create a SmartList, you can add it to your navigation pane over here. You can add it to your QuickLinks, and it gives you a more feature-rich environment for your users. And again, one of the other things that I think is probably more prevalent now for our client base is requisitioning. And if you'll notice on my homepage, I have enter a purchase requisition. This is what I need to do today. I can go and create my own requisition. Now, when I create a requisition, I don't have to say who we're going to buy it for. I don't even need to know if it's in an inventory item. I just need to know that I need to buy it. So for example, if I'm in a warehouse, I need a box of rags. I just need the rags and I need to requisition them. I don't know who we buy them from. So I have to walk into Jane and go, hey Jane, can you please order me the box of rags? And she'll come back and she goes, yes, but did you ask William? Is it okay? Did you get that approved? And I'll go, oh, I forgot. I have to go now back into William, ask William, can I buy that box of rags? He says yes. I have to go back to Jane and say, yes, that's great. We can do that. So all of that takes time, and that time is money. But if I could create a requisition, create the workflow behind that requisition that immediately would go to William for his approval, then would go to the purchasing group for review, because the purchasing group may say, you know what, I'm not going to order you that box of rags because warehouse B over here has excess number of rags and we're just going to move a box over there to you. So controlling inventory, controlling expenses, using a workflow as that tool that allows our users to really be more efficient within the application, cutting down the emails back and forth, having that email approval, but nowhere tied to a purchase order. So then if somebody comes back later and says, hey, who approved this? I have to go scroll through my email and go, oh yeah, William did, or hey, we were walking down the hallway and he says it was okay. Right? We want to get actual audited controls that I can show my auditors, the president, that yep, everything was approved, everything went through the normal workflow, and this is something that the company hasn't approved as an expense. So looking at that workflow, really controlling the cost and what a user will see is really something that is very powerful within the applications now. And again, once the workflow is set up, then you never have to touch it again. Or you can then, in the newer versions, set up delegations, change the workflow as the company changes and morphs, and the business model may change slightly. You can grow with it within the workflow. But the process would still stay the same. So again, this is giving the users the tools that are available to them. So if you look at kind of what we've got within the requisitions here, I can see here's my requisition list. I've submitted them. I'm waiting for approval. So again, it is a more proactive approach than having to go, I wonder if William has approved my purchase order. I can see it right here. I wonder if this has been requisitioned. I can see it up here. It's ready for purchasing. So if I click on ready for purchasing, it will then show me everything of all my requisition transactions that are ready to be purchased. And again, it is one shop working. I can review the items, I can review the requisition. I've got all the information at the bottom. I can either check it, whether it needs to go through approval, I can submit it, I can delete it, edit it. What I need to do within that requisition now is all in one screen. Again, a very powerful tool without having to click around. So those are one of the features that I think a lot of our clients now are really getting their teeth into, because reducing costs right now in our economy is a very important aspect of business. And this is one of the tools that is built in. It just takes a little bit of training, and you're often working with it. One of the other features that I think is extremely nice that a lot of our clients are now using is the copy and paste to a general journal. So anyone in accounting who knows who has entered in a 100-line general journal and how brutal that can be during a day, you now have the ability to copy a general journal from Excel into a general journal within GP. And if most of our clients and most of accounting people are on a daily basis working in Excel, creating the general journal, making sure everything is balanced, everything is allocated properly before they go enter it into GP. So this is a vehicle now where you can actually have it in Excel. I can copy it, as simple as copy, go back to GP, and go to a general journal, which again, I have on my QuickLinks because this is something I do all day long. Click on the reference field and then click on paste at the top. If you'll notice, it just quickly pasted in my journal. The same validations that you would get through an integration or manually entering would appear in your general journal, so you could not enter anything that is not valid. It will tell you if it's balanced, just like any other general journal. Again, a very feature-rich part of GP that a lot of our clients are upgrading just for that feature alone, because they may be using Integration Manager to do that, and now all they have to do is skip that step and go from copying and pasting. A very, very, very powerful tool for the accounting group. Again, you have the Excel dashboards, and this is one of the features in the newer versions that I think a lot of our clients are really going to gravitate towards. So if you're one of those clients who are looking for dashboarding, looking for tools to allow you to data mine information out of GP quickly, but you're not a developer, you don't have a developer on staff, you don't have an SSRS report, expert, you just need to get the data out and get some graphs and dashboarding started. So now in GP 2015, they actually have some canned dashboards that you can actually run, and I'm going to run this one really quick. And actually, it allows you to modify it to your company's needs, but you get this as a base or a starter point. You can use it as it is, you can modify it, you can create your own now. But if you notice now, I have a full dashboard within Excel, which everyone knows Excel, inside of and connected to GP with real-time data. So if you'll notice here, I have my date. It's set currently to first quarter 2017. What happens if I change it to 2016? If you'll notice, my data has now changed. It's very interactive, pulling the data from GP and giving me information that I needed at a glance. So if I'm the president and I get this dashboard, I do not have to go run a 50-page report to see what my operating expenses were for the first quarter of 2016 versus what it was for the first quarter of 2017. I have it at a glance. Now, if I want to see the information, I always have the ability to drill down and get the information I need, but right now I have it at a glance in a dashboard already pre-built for me, and there's multiple dashboards you can use. Again, a tool that a lot of our clients have been asking for that allows them a quick information gathering tool without a lot of upfront effort and time. So those are some of the features that you'll see in the newer version of Dynamics GP. I hope that helps you understand where the future is with GP, and again, understanding that efficiencies is where we're going. I hope that helped you understand some of maybe the efficiencies that you could gain within Dynamics GP 2015. But in keeping with that, not all ERPs have everything a company needs. So for example, time and expense. You may have a lot of your staff that are sitting out there in the oil field. You may have them sitting in a warehouse, and you're wanting to capture time quickly and efficiently, but you don't necessarily need them in the ERP, but you need to capture this information. So what I wanted to show you is a web-based time and expense application that we at Rand Group have built that we've deployed to a few of our clients. And it really allows you the flexibility, again, being mobile, being everywhere that the client, the customer, your end users need you to be. So if you think about what that web time and expense application would look like, the deployment options really are very straightforward. You can have it just internally facing. You could have it secured where it's exposed to the internet with authorized users, which again, security obviously is going to be an important issue here. A rich user and friendly front end is very, very important when you talk about time entry and expense calculations. So we need to make sure that the data is validated, that they're selecting the right day of the week, they're selecting the right project if you're doing project accounting or the manufacturing order, making sure that the data that you're getting is accurate. So that means it needs to be linked. We need an integrated system to Dynamics GP 2015 or the older versions. We need the automatic timesheet generation too. So for example, Susie's on vacation, I need to automatically generate her timesheet. We needed some flexibility here with time entry, not just Susie's going to enter her time for every hour of the day she works, because let's say that I'm sitting out there in the oil field, I've been working, today it's 5 o'clock, I'm gone, I'm on vacation, but I've now forgot to do my timesheet. I may need some delegation of entry. You know, I am no longer available. I could be on a boat in the middle of the ocean and I can't do my timesheet. So how do we get the process to be restricted, but it needs to be flexible? So delegation of entry, delegation of approval is all there. And we also need seamless integrations, not just with GP, but with payroll and projects and different modules to make sure that we're getting our time and our expenses entered properly. So I'm going to quickly demo the application for you, but here's a quick view of kind of some of the advantages you get with the application. So you get email notifications. So if you would like to get those notifications, it can tell you that Susie submitted her time for approval, or Susie hasn't submitted her time for approval, which may be just as important. It could go to managers, administration, delegation of those options. Who needs to get those notifications? Reporting of time is always something that is important. And when you talk about project accounting or project time and expense, you may not want the direct report of that person to be approving that time, because we may be sharing it with a different project where, you know, it may be reporting to someone else on a project. So team reporting, organization reporting. So when you look at how time and expense is entered, it's a very broad requirements of what clients are needing. So I'm going to show you quickly the application that we have put together here at Rand Group. And when you look at the application itself, it's very straightforward time entry. But what you've got here is I can impersonate someone. So I can maybe go in as Michael Glass and do his timesheet if he had forgotten to do his timesheet. But I can also do it for myself. It's going to select the projects that have been set up in GP for time entry accessibility. So not all the projects, maybe I have ability to code time to, but these are the projects that are set up in GP that I can code my time to. I can, what day of the month or the week am I going to code my time? How many hours to this project, and again, to this cost code. So if you look at entering in, I have different cost codes within that project, and all the cost codes can be different per project. They could be the same depending on your company structure and your projects. Now, if you're not doing project accounting, you don't have to enter in the projects. The screen, again, is then modifiable where you're not coding two projects. But most of our clients now are looking at some type of accounting process of time, whether it's to project, manufacturing orders. What am I coding my time to? I put in my number of hours I've worked, and I put in a description. So I am doing consulting fees and assisting client with workflow integration. I can then add it to my timesheet, and if you'll notice, now I have a new line here for my time. On the far left, I have time for previous weeks that I may have entered that may not be approved, or just for my review also. If you notice at the bottom, I have a weekly summary, so it'll tell me Monday through Sunday, my total hours, and utilization. And utilization could be based on company projects versus client or customer projects. And then I have a summary by project. What have I worked on through this week and how many different projects? So at a glance, as a user, I have complete control of how my timesheet looks. These timesheets can be submitted daily. They can be submitted weekly. The day in your week period may change, so that can be modified also. Ours just happens to be, in this example, Monday through Sunday, but yours could be Saturday through Sunday. So really looking at how you would like to build your workflow also is going to be important. So when I submit my time, I could submit and my timesheet could be approved by my manager, or it could be approved by project. So I could have 15 different projects, which each line on my timesheet may need to be approved by a different project manager, which the system is designed to do. So giving you the flexibility as a company. Again, this is a web-based application, internal, externally exposed, that your users can go in. They do not need to have access to GP. They don't need to understand GP. They don't really need training into GP. All they need to know is how to enter in their time. There's also the ability, for example, if you wanted to, within this project, you may have cases, you may have support cases, you may have manufacturing cases. It's a sub-level of reporting that you may need to report against for time entered. There's a lot of feature functions within it. If I selected this line, I could actually, if you'll notice, the top part of my header is now pre-populated. I can modify the information and save it as a new record. Okay, I can add a new one. If I highlight it again, I then have the same feature functions. If you notice here, I've got the funnel. I can do any type of sorting and selecting I would like on my lines, because I could, in reality, have a 50-line timesheet depending on how many times I'm working on different projects, different cases maybe. What am I doing that's creating maybe a large timesheet and making it something that the end users can actually use. They can review before they submit their time. Is my time correct? Once you complete your timesheet, it then would go into the timesheet approval screen. Now, the approval is going to be based on the workflow, and then the workflow can be configured. So if you look at my example here, I review it. I have one timesheet to approve for Michael Glass. Now, again, when you look at the timesheets itself, what happens when I am not in the office? It is 10 o'clock in the morning. Timesheets were already supposed to be approved, but I am, let's say, stuck in a meeting with a client, do not have my laptop, and there is no way that I'm going to be able to approve that time. I have admin approval here, where I can actually, someone from the admin group who's been given security rights can approve my timesheets for me. So never again are we waiting for payroll. We're waiting for project accounting for approval of time. The admin can go in there and do it. And then obviously I will have my reports that I may need to really understand the data that is out there. and we have a full set of reports that are available. Again, these reports are SQL based, so when you look at the information, it's going to give you real-time information, and there is a large catalog of those reports by project manager, by team, again, organization, employee specific, really giving you at a glance the information that you need. Again, web-based and mobile. As long as I can log in, I can get this information. And along with the timesheets, we have expenses. Again, this is something that is very useful when you're traveling and you're racking up your expenses, and you always have to either get back to the office to do your expenses. But now what you can do is on the fly, as you're racking up your expenses, enter them into your expense sheet. You also have the ability to add an attachment. So what I have done in the past is taken a picture using my phone of my receipt, emailing it to myself and attaching it, or just via my phone attaching it. So giving yourself the flexibility to get that information in quickly, because the sooner, as we all know, you get your expenses in, the better, right? Because you're not going to forget something. You're not going to lose that receipt. Need to get that information in. So again, this information, it can be coded by project, internally, external projects that you may be working on. Again, you could have cost codes that are associated with that expense. I have my dollar amount, lunch with client, right? Add it. And again, I do have the ability, as I mentioned, to add an attachment when I complete my expenses. It then will go in for approval. So if you look at your expenses, you have the same ability, whether I have the admin approval rights, the inquiry into expenses. And I think if you're an admin person within the application too, you have a lot more controls of what you can see. So we have the integration monitor, which means everything is real time with GP. So I can tell the last time it ran. If there's anything pending, I can turn off an integration if I need to. If there were errors, I can see my errors. I can see my setup. So there is a lot of user-friendly front-end information where I don't need a developer. I just need to be able to monitor what the system is doing, and it gives you the ability. And again, within admin, you can set up your users, departments. You have your settings that you can set up. Again, giving a full feature rich environment for all of your users to be accessing the system. Again, web-based, being mobile is very, very important. So when you look at the application itself, it's looked at as being streamlined, fully integrated with GP. You complete data validation, complete workflow, and also real-time, as you can approve as often as you need. We actually can approve our timesheets daily, which makes it much easier if you're doing project accounting. On a daily basis, I can tell where my project is as far as man hours go, and maybe expenses. So looking at a timesheet is just one way of helping the automation, helping the integration when you don't have to worry about flat file movement for payroll. It gives you the ability to have seamless integrations. And also making sure that your end users are being efficient in entering their time, entering their expenses. Especially if you're a professional services company, time is money, right? So getting that time in is more important than anything. So that is one example of how efficiencies can be gained through applications, not necessarily within Dynamics GP, but with a tight integration into GP.